Welcome to the class, everybody. All right.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Hello. Welcome. Welcome on board. Oh, hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Everybody out there.
Hi, sir.
Those people that are just joining right now to the class, those people on the YouTube channel also. Hello and welcome to the class. All right. Okay. For those of you that this is the first session, would you do me a favor? Can you just introduce yourself? And that would be great if you can just start your camera as well, that I can see you as well. So for those of you that you're interested to have an online.
I'm Amit from Patna. Hi.
Hello, Amit. Welcome to class.
I'm Amit from Patna, Bihar.
Okay, welcome. Right. So I guess
Yeah,
Abdul
I'm Ranjit. I'm from Hyderabad.
Right, great. Welcome. I do see
Hi, sir.
myself.
Abdul from Bihar, Patna.
Okay, hello, welcome to class. You can just leave your camera on. Don't worry. I guess Saram Ranjit Kumar, I guess your camera has a problem because I do see myself in your camera.
No. Okay, 1 minute.
Probably something wrong with your side.
Kaveh, I'm Neeraj. I'm currently at Sydney. So yep, I'm in a dark room, so you can't see me probably.
No,
Sorry
no
for that.
worries. I guess you just joined from 2 different computers at the same place. Just make sure if you're just joining from 2 different computers, make sure to turn off the mic or the speaker on one side and use the other side only for the mic and you know, the cameras. Okay, 𝐊𝐲𝐬. Who's the 𝐊𝐲𝐬? 𝐊𝐲𝐬? Can you hear me? Hello, 𝐊𝐲𝐬, if you can hear me. 𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨, Niraj. So I see so many people are all here. So
Hi, sir. Good evening. This is Neeraj from Gurgaon, Haryana. I'm not able to turn on my camera because of I think some issue in my camera. So I'm
no
sorry.
worries. No worries if you can just fix the problem later on. Again, Ranjit, there's a problem with your camera. You can just turn it off and turn it on again. Try to turn it off.
Hi,
And
myself,
turn it on.
Girish. I'm from Tamil Nadu.
All right, welcome to class. Okay, so I see some other people that they're just joining to the class as well. Guys,
I'm from UAE, Dubai.
hello and welcome to the class. All right. Okay, guys. So basically, as I explained last week, this is a class. It is not a workshop. It is not an online video training. It is absolutely class. So I need your contribution in all sessions. I need that you speak with me in all sessions. You need to talk with me. You need to ask a question. So you need to just answer to my question. You need to do the labs in a session. Basically, this is a class. It's not an online training. Again, once again, this is an online class, but however, it is a class. Now I'm just looking you all at the class to share your cameras, to share your mic, and also if I want, you need to share also your screen with me. You need to share your desktop. So we're supposed to do some labs in here. Okay. So today is the day 0. It's not a class day, okay? This is not the day 1. This is the day 0. I would say today I will teach you the requirement, the pre-requirement for the class, okay? What you like to do, what is our references, what we are going to do in this class, what kind of books you need to read, what kind of laboratory you need to prepare for yourself, okay? I will give you all introduction about the class. So this is a very interesting class for all of you out there. And, you know, I hope that you enjoyed the day zero. So first of all, let me talk to you through the references that you need in order to, you know, attend in this class. First of all, the reference for the class is the CCNP Encore book, right? So let me show you the CCNP Encore book here. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. I guess you're supposed to know what is the reference for the Encore already, according to the previous session. So we're going to start from the Encore, and also there is a combination between the Encore and NRC. But basically, the first part of this class is going to be about the layer 2 topics, okay? We're going to talk about a lot about the layer 2 topics. And these layer 2 topics are, you know, about the legacy protocol, the legacy architecture. And at the end of the layer 2 part, we're going to also introduce you to the newer technology, okay? The brand new architecture, the layer 2 architecture for the new, and the new terminologies, for example, what is the fabric, how we can just live in a fabric world. I will give you also some introduction, and they are going to be all introduction in this part of the class. So the first part of the class is going to be all about the layer 2 topics. So for those of you that you didn't attend in the previous session, you can just review the exam topics here, and also you can just go for the Cisco Encore book, also which has been written by the Cisco Press. So for those of you that you're interested, you can also follow that path. Now, the latest version of the Encore is version 1.2, right? Right now. Previously, it was a version 1 at the beginning of the, I guess in the mid 2020, it has been started with a version 1.0. Then later, at the beginning of the 2022, the latest version was version 1.1. And nowadays, they just introduced the latest version, which is a 1.2. And they have some similarities, but they have also added some new topics and removed some of those legacy protocol as well. Guys, this course is basically is very important, and it has a very wide range of technologies and protocols involved in these courses, okay? So as I told you, for the first part of this class, we're going to start with the layer 2 terminologies. We're going to talk about the layer 2 VLAN, trunking, spanning tree protocol, the addresses, the Ethernet. All right, we're going to talk about all of them. So basically, the first 2-3 sessions of this class will be in theory, and then we're going to proceed with some laboratory. I will give you some labs, and at the end of the story, at the end of the layer 2 part of this class, I will give you a workbook and also a complete lab that you can just play with it back there at home. So for those of you that you're interested to also do the lab at the networking, the labs, be my guest. You can just follow them. I will give you the access to the lab, and you can just follow the labs through there. And for those of you that you're interested to set up your own lab environment back home, I will give you also an introduction how to set up the Eve machine, right? So before we proceed to that level, today and tomorrow, we're supposed to set up all of these things for you, okay, back there. So you need to get all of these, gadgets and tools before we start, okay? This is very important that you have. Imagine that you're a doctor, okay? So if you have a patient, you need to have your tools in front of yourself, okay? So we are network engineer. So we need to have all of those tools all around us in order to start, to learn, especially the Cisco and the Cisco courses, the Cisco different training path, they all need to have different assets, okay? So for the lab, you all need to have a lab. tool. Okay, so there's a 𝐍𝐸. 𝐍𝐸 is an emulated virtual environment for those of you that you just want to set up your own lab environment back home. So 𝐍𝐸, this is my suggestion. You can just follow the GNS tree, and there are also some other tools out there belongs to the Cisco. You can just go for the viral. These are different tools that you can just follow. But in my opinion, 𝐍𝐸 is one of the greatest tools out there so far, okay? Because you can just set up all of these environment back, in the 𝐍𝐸 machine. And this is the latest version of the 𝐍𝐸 and version 5, I guess, that released recently. So you can just use these 𝐍𝐸 machine in order to set up for your own environment. Nowadays, this recent version, the version 5 point something nowadays, the latest version has lots of feature. It has lots of capabilities that you can just work with it. Okay, let me just open up my 𝐍𝐸 machine and show you something. Okay, so let me just open up one of those giant laboratory that you're going to do in this class. Okay, let me just show it to you. Okay, so for those of you that you're interested to do the labs, here we go. This is one of the labs that you're going to see and you're going to experience in this class, okay? So, which is consisting of so many different nodes, switching nodes, the routing nodes. It has lots of different software pieces in here that you can just play with it. And it has lots of technology. For example, the MPLS, ISIS, OSPF, BGP, EIGRP, DMVP, and IPsec. It is consisting of so many different technologies and the task list in this example. Even it has some SD-WAN technologies as well. So this is a very great tool. And as I told you, 𝐸𝐸 is going to deliver you that feature. And 𝐸𝐸 has two different versions. The 𝐸𝐸 Pro Edition, I guess 3 different versions, but the one that I'm using right now is a Pro version. I guess it has a professional edition and it has a community edition. If you go to the download page, you can just download either the professional learning center version, okay, or the community edition. Basically, the community edition is free, okay? And from the working perspective, there is no difference between the Pro edition and the community, but the Pro has lots of different features. So if you're looking to set up a fancy topology for yourself with these colors, with dotted, if you want to have a better management and some other tools such as different type of fonts, some graphic features, you need to buy the Pro edition. But anyway, if you want to use the community edition, you don't need to pay any money for that. Okay, so for the tomorrow session, the first thing that you need to do, go to the free community edition. This version, I guess 5.0.1-13. Go there and download the OVF file, okay? You can either download it from the Google Mirror or the Mega Mirror. Any of those will be okay. Do not download the installation ISO. Don't download it, okay? Simply download this 𝐸𝐸 NG OVF file through that Google Mirror or the Mega Mirror. In order to set up those, that OVF file, you need to have either the VMware workstation or some other, virtual machine tools at your client machine. Okay, so just first of all, try to install the VMware either workstation. If you have a Mac OS, you can just download and install the Fusion, or you can use any other tools. Okay, for example, there's some Oracle open source tools. You can just download and install the 𝐸𝐸 machine, right? Then just leave it there. For the tomorrow session, I will just give you a lead how to set up those, okay? So for the tomorrow session, try to download the VMware workstation on the Windows machine, and also for those users with the Mac OS, try to download the VMware Fusion, and that's it. There is no other thing that you need to download from the site here. Then the 𝐸𝐸 machine has some different parts. It has the IOL, it has the 𝐬𝐬 emulator. We're going to talk about that also. And also it has some other tools and features as well. We're going to play, most of the time, we're going to play either with the 𝐬𝐿 or the IOL. The IOL is the iOS on Linux, okay? So which has been out there since, I guess, 2010. So it's quite old right now. So you can just load the iOS on a Linux operating system, which is your 𝐊𝐲 machine, and this is the IOL, right? It's just for emulation. It's not real, and it does not have all feature. Okay, so it has probably a long list of features, but not all of them. Okay, so believe me, it's not for the practical environment. However, with the Q emulator, you can just load the true image of some operating systems, such as switches, for example, the Nexus switches. You can just load the iOS switches, the iOS V, for example, the iOS XR. You can just load the CSR images. You can load the Viptela images, Huawei, the FortiGate, F5, and you can just load a vast majority of those software platform out there. The real images, you can just load them into your 𝐊𝐲 machine, and these are real images, and you can play with the real environment. Okay, honestly, these 𝐊𝐲 machine is going to save your life. Okay, because you can just practice all of those technologies out there, the SD-WAN technologies, the SD access, even the SD access technologies. You can partially just experience some of them as well. You can also experience playing with the iOS XR images, the iOS XE images. So this is a pretty cool feature. And the 𝐬𝐿 does not belong to the 𝐊𝐲. 𝐬𝐿 is one of the open source features for the Linux operating system. If you're familiar with the Linux operating system, so you can just install the 𝐬𝐿 application software, and you can just load all of those images inside your Linux machine. But anyway, 𝐊𝐲 just give you a very good GUI and web UI interface that you can just play with all of them. You can add many different type of routers and switches, and you can also create your own environment for yourself. So for tomorrow, please download this OVF file from the community edition. Make sure to download the community edition and also download the OVF file. Okay, the next thing that you need to have is that you need to have a terminal application. Okay, so you need to have a terminal application. What is the system config? I need to have, all right, Zishan Khatib. Okay, Mr. Khatib, you asked me about what is the system config I need to have to be able to install 𝐊𝐲. Good question. You don't need to have a very powerful server. It's a matter of what you want to load. Okay, if you want to load, for example, an iOS XR image, for sure. If you want to load these kind of things, so you need to have a very good resources. You need to have a 64 GB of memory to load, let's say, a couple of them, right? 64 GB. But if you want to learn for example, the Encore and NRC, any number above the 4 GB of RAM and any CPU, let's say, for example, the Core i5 CPU or the Core i7 CPU, or even the new generation of the CPUs will be okay. For example, the new generation of the CPUs out there, all working with that as well. I guess any computer that's coming from 2012 or 2015 will be okay. It's going to work with the 𝐊𝐲 machine. Don't worry about that. If you do not have a good computer, you can just use the Network King. I'm just giving you this head up for those of you that you just want to play with your own lab environment. You just want to have your own lab environment, especially when you do not have access to the internet connection. Okay, so for example, if you want to set up your own lab for yourself, so basically with the Network King, you can only play with my scenarios. Okay, but if you want to have your own scenarios back there, you need to use your own 𝐊𝐲 machine, right? So this is the first thing that you need to have. The next one is you need to have a terminal application, okay? Terminal SSH. You can just use the secure CRT, the PuTTY. There are so many different open source, free source, or I don't know, maybe some licensed application. There are so many of them out there. I prefer to use the secure CRT, but the PuTTY and the super PuTTY, they're all great, okay? So you can go to the PuTTY website For those of you that you do have the Windows operating system, you can just use the PuTTY application. This is a free software. You can download the PuTTY and just simply install it on your computer machine. And the Secure CRT is a licensed application. It's great. It has so many other features as well. So be my guest to download this Secure CRT if you would like. So it's a licensed software. You need to buy it. I bought it myself. If you want, you can also buy that one as well. There are so many other options out there. You can just find your own style. Okay, as I told you, it looks like that you are a real engineer. To be a network engineer, you need to first of all pick up your own tools and assets and put it in front of you, and then start to practice and learn those new technologies. Okay, so this is the next one. And also, I highly recommend you to have a piece of note application, the note correlation application, something like Evernote, okay? There are so many of them. You can just use the OneNote application in Windows. You can just use the Note application. You can just use the Evernote, which is one of the greatest note correlation out there. Okay, there are so many of them. Pick one of them, pick your own style, one of them with your own style, and just install it in your computer as well, right? Okay. Also make sure, the next one is to install the Firefox. Try to use the Firefox instead of other browser. So Firefox is mostly compatible with the eve. Okay, so try to use that Firefox as well. After you install the Firefox, go back to the eve website and go to the download web page. There is a part here which is called the client side. Okay, you can just download the Windows client side. Okay, and it is going to install the Wireshark application, the Ultra VNC, the PuTTY 0.73, and also the peeling for Wireshark. If you need some wrappers, it's going to install all of these. This is going to be a package for all of those applications. For the application macOS X client side, okay, it's going to also set up these tools as well. So try to go there and install all of them here and try to set up the client side application as well, right? Okay. So try to install either the Windows client side or Mac client side, or even if you want to install it on the Linux client side, you can just also install from the Linux integration pack. Okay. So, and at the end of the story, there's an Eve calculator here. Okay. You can also follow that Eve calculator here for the resources that you might need for, the CPU and RAM that you need to use per lab. Okay. There is an Eve calculator. Just download it for the lab environment. It's better to use this calculator before you set up your own lab environment. Okay. This is the tools that you require for the first part of the class. Okay. Let me just give you a summary of all of them. Okay. So for the first one, please install either the VMware Workstation or VMware Fusion or any other application that can run the OVF images. Okay, so there are so many of them. Just download and install one of them, then download the Eve Community Edition. Right? Download the Eve Community Edition and install it on your, just import it into the VMware Workstation. If you don't have enough knowledge, don't worry, tomorrow we're going to do it all together, okay? Also download and install a terminal application, such as, let's say, PuTTY. You can just use the Secure CRT, Super PuTTY, and there are so many of them. Okay, so many others also available out there. Then download and install the client side package. Okay, either the Windows, the Mac, Linux, whatever you have, just try to download and install those as well, right? And also at the end of the story, download a node correlation app, right? Download any of them. I guess Evernote is one of the greatest, but there are so many people out there that just prefer, for example, to play with, for example, Microsoft OneNote, okay? Be my guest. So this is all your choice. I don't have anything to say, but Evernote is free to sign up. It has a free storage. I guess for learning those topics, you know, for the CCNP, Encore and NRC, I guess it's more than enough. Don't worry about the storage of the free version, okay? So I don't think that you need to pay money for any of those applications. They're all going to be free, and you can just follow them through your list. Okay. Is there any questions so far? Any question? Okay. What is the references that you need to follow, right? What are the references that you need to read in these class? Okay. The references that we are going to follow in this class are here. Okay, so I'm going to highly recommend you to go through the Cisco Press books. They're all, most of them, they're all great. In my opinion, Encore book is not very good, but it's not very bad at the same time. Some of those chapters are, you know, okay, not good, are okay, they're only okay, but they're not complete. NRC, however, NRC is a much better than book, okay, much better than Encore book. But however, in my opinion, I do believe to learn those legacy protocol, there are some other books that you can just read, okay? So let me introduce you to some of those books that you need to read in this class. Okay, so first of all, these are the references that you need to follow. Encore, okay? So CCNP and CCIE Encore 350-401 official certificate guide, written by the 𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨, the Bradgetworth. So these are the books that you need to read. The next one is the CCNP Advanced Routing, which is the NRC. Again, this is the official certificate guide for those of you that you just want to also read the NRC book. This is a very, very also good book for you to read. The NRC, however, in my opinion, is a good book. It's not comparable to the Encore, because, you know, the Encore is very large book. It has so many different protocols in it. So they didn't push themselves so hard to give all of those terminologies, all of those explanations. So everything in the Encore book is an introduction, okay? So they didn't give you the full explanation of them. But however, NRC is a much more complete book, right? So this is the two books that you need to read, Encore and NRC, okay? The next book that I would like highly to recommend you is the CCIE Routing and Switching version 5, written by Mr. 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐠𝐬, okay? So this is a very great book for those of you that you're interested to learn the routing and switching technologies. This is a very great book. I myself, you know, read those books, these two books, for several times, okay, in order to pass my CCIE certification. Previously, when I wanted to get my certification, I was starting to read these books written by the Mr. 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐠𝐬. This is a very, very great book, and so many chapters. Well, it has two different volumes, volume 1 and 2. I don't know what is the reason that is not working right now. Let me just Google it instead of, yeah, here. Okay, so, oh, sorry. This is the version 5.1. and this is version 5. All right, so here we go. The CCIE routing switching version 5, the official certificate guide, the volume 1, 5th edition, and it has also the volume 2 as well. The volume 1 is starting with the layer 2 technologies. So in my opinion, if you want to read and learn the legacy layer 2, such as, the spanning tree, the BTP, VLANing, trunking, DTP, span, private VLAN, all of those different terminologies, the legacy terminologies, it has been written in this book in a very good way, okay? This is a pro book, okay? So I highly recommend you to read that book. Then it's going to continue with the IGP routing protocol, such as, the EIGRP, OSPF, and even ISIS. It has some parts. It also has some explanation about the legacy overlay protocols such as GRE, DM, VPN, also a very small part of the IPsec as well. So this is the CCIE routing and switching volume 1. Then it's going to continue with the volume 2. Okay, if I do have a chance to see the chapters here, should be a chapter list somewhere here. I don't see that. Anyhow, it's okay. So this is the other book, which is the CCIE routing and switching volume 2. So it's going to continue with the explanation of the BGP, which is great part of this book also. The volume 2 also is for the BGP. Also is going to have some part about the BGP, QoS, there's some WAN, some IP multicast, the device and network security, and some very small part of the MPLS explanation as well. So this is another book that you need to read in this class. Guys, we're talking about around 2,000 pages, great pages. A book has been written by the Mr. Narbe Kucharians, okay? You're going to attend in this class, okay? But at the same time, you need to watch the videos after the class, and also you need to read these books. There's some of you that you may ask me, Kaveh, we are CCNP students. Why should I just read these books? Guys, all of these topics, if you just look at the topic of the Encore book, let me go back to the Encore. Here. Look at the title of the course. It is the CCNP and CCIE enterprise course. So you're just learning the CCNP, but honestly, you're just experiencing also the CCIE topics as well. There is so many shared terminologies between the CCNP and CCIE enterprise infrastructure track. Okay, so these two books are helping you a lot to understand these topics as well. The next book that I highly recommend you to download it or buy it as a hard copy of that book is Routing TCP/IP, written by one and only Mr. Jeff Doyle. Okay, I love it. Okay, this is I don't believe anyone in the network field in the pro scale that didn't experience the books written by the Mr. Jeff Doyle. This is a very, very great book. This is, it has a very good explanation of the BGP. It's a multicast, and also some parts about the IPv6. But for those of you that you just want to learn about the BGP and a lot more details, this is a very, very great book to read all of those corner cases for the BGP, okay? It has so many good explanation and very great book to read. Honestly, you don't need to read all chapters. I will give you head up. So every session, when you come to the class, when I give you, a training, so after the topics, after I give you my full explanation, so I will tell you what do you need to do, what do you need to read, and what kind of lab need you practice back there, okay? So I'm going to lead you in this class to read those books, okay? The next book that I just want to also suggest is the Deep IP Multicast, okay? I've forgotten the name of the book. So here we go. the Cisco IP Multicast Networking Volume 1 and also the Volume 2. One of the most complicated part of this class is the IP multicast. Okay, so again, the IP multicast Volume 1 and the Volume 2, some of those chapters, only a limited of those chapters, maybe 2 or 3 chapters of these 2 books you need to read in order to gain the knowledge of the IP multicast, which is very important nowadays. Okay, the next book is the IPv6 Fundamentals. Okay, IPv6 Fundamentals, written by the 𝐊𝐢𝐧𝐠𝐬. Okay, and this is a very easy book. Honestly, it looks like a bedtime story. If you do have enough time back there, you can just start from now on to read this book. This is a very straightforward book for those of you even without any previous experience of routing or switching or addressing, even the IP addressing. You can just read this book easily. You can just start to read this book from now on, and then at the end of this class you would get the full access to all of the contents and the knowledge of this book. This is a great book and very easy book to understand. Okay, and that's it. Okay, these are all different books that you need to just get it. For those of you that you will be in the WhatsApp group, I will send you an Excel sheet. Okay, and this Excel sheet is consisting of those the checklist. Okay, and the checklist is consisting of all tasks that you need to do before the tomorrow session. Okay, for the day 0. So today and tomorrow is going to be the day 0. Okay, this is all going to be a preparation day for you in order to get, I don't know if you didn't get the Firefox, the Eve machine, and also those software and references. You need to get all of these tools, put it somewhere, and then we're ready, good to go. We're going to start the entire class from that time. All right? Is there any question? Are you all okay? Happy?
And how to get link up WhatsApp group, sir? Now you talk about WhatsApp group.
I guess you can send your request to the Gurav, okay, the networking project manager. I guess you can just send your request and he's going to add you to the group. I myself, I'm a trainer. I don't have access to the administration of those WhatsApp groups. So send him your request, and then he was going to add you to those groups as well.
Okay.
Any other question?
What groups are these?
Say it again.
Can you repeat once again before this book?
Before this book? All right. Okay. So I told you about the Cisco IP multicast. Okay. It was the
multicast. Right.
Yeah. Okay. The IP multicast Volume 1 and Volume 2. Right. So these 2 books are here. Here we go. Let me just show it to you. This is the IP Multicast Volume 1, coming from 2016. Also the IP Multicast Volume 2. Try to get these 2 books. Guys, these are very good assets in front of you. Do we buy virtual IOS for the EVNG to practice in our laptop? Ranjit, I would tell you, I would give you my suggestion. You can just buy it. You can just download it. This is all your choice. I'm not going to give you any recommendation to either buy or not to buy. I'm going to give you how to set up. But honestly, I'm not sure about what do you want to do. It really depends on you. I myself, I will buy everything from Cisco. But whatever you want to do, this is all your choice out there. Anyway, so this is it so far. Any other question? Yeah, Niraj, do you have any question?
This book is available on Amazon also.
Yeah, it's available.
What was the
This
question?
book is available on Amazon also.
Say it again.
Yeah,
This
guys,
book
it's
is available on
Amazon.
Amazon.
You can buy out directly from Amazon also.
Yeah. All of these books are available on Amazon. They're all available in Cisco Press as well. You can get the hard copy of those books or even ebooks. if I were you, I prefer to have ebooks. Okay, so you can just start to buy the ebooks. If you want to get all of those books, honestly, to get the Encore and NRC knowledge, you need to buy 20 books, the hard copy of those books. Don't do it. Okay, just download the ebooks and try to put it in either in your laptop, in your computer, or even in your tablet, and start reading. Okay, because you don't need to read all chapters at the same time. Okay, so here we go. And that's it. All right, guys, at the end of each part of the class, so basically class is around 100 to 120 hours. Okay, at the first of when we finish the first half of the class, I'm going to give you a head up for those of you that you are interested to go for the CCNP Encore exam. I'm going to help you to get the CCNP Encore certification, right? So try to attend in every session, okay? Don't be lazy, right? Don't postpone the class. Do not just give me the highest priority, okay? I will be the highest priority of your life for the next 3 to 4 months, right? And I'm expecting you to attend in every session. You need to attend and keep up with me. Just follow my lead. And if you follow my lead, after 2 months, you can go for the CCNP Encore exam. Okay, so make sure to attend in every session from now on. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Any other question? So you're good to go.
Where can I download ebooks? All those you told us.
Also, you can just ask the networking. They also can provide you access to those, the library of those ebooks as well. If you do have any query, you can just ask them as well. They can just provide you the access to all of these books as well. Just send your request to Mr. Gaurav again. He's going to provide you the access to all of these materials.
Yeah, hi, 𝐊𝐲𝐬 here. So guys, what I'll do tomorrow, I'll just send you the link where you'll join a one WhatsApp group. And from next week, whatever you're talking about the books and all, I'll update in the portal so that you can access through portal only.
Problem solved. Thank you, Gaurav. So you can all have access to all of these.
Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks, Keith.
No worries. Okay. So all good. But tomorrow's session, make sure that you have all the assets that I ask you. Just prepare them, put it in your computer, get ready. And tomorrow I will pick you, some of you. Guys, please make sure to have your camera and microphone as well on in the class. Will you provide the list of books to help us? Yeah, sure. Mr. 𝐊𝐲𝐬, I guess. Yes, I will provide you the list, an Excel sheet. This is basically, I will give you a blueprint. And the blueprint, this is going to be a blueprint of all the exam topics. Also, some other topics that you need to read inside this class, okay? Yeah, I will give it to you. So how long is the class every day? For the day 0, probably the day 1 is not too much, maybe 1 hour at most. But honestly, every class is going to be around 90 minutes and 5-minute break in the middle of the class. The checklist for asset that you want us to have, I already gave everyone in this video. So if you want, you can just follow the video again. You can just watch the video again. I guess it will be in the YouTube channel as well. You can just follow the YouTube channel as well in order to read, just prepare yourself as well. Okay, guys, any other question?
Just to let you know, my name is 𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨. 𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨, yeah. The
Sure.
NDOYE is my last name.
All right. Very good. Very good. 𝐍𝐞𝐭𝐰𝐨.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Welcome to the class and very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Okay. Guys, I hope to see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Merry Christmas again. Sorry, I almost forgot to tell you the Merry Christmas. And also,
Merry Christmas.
we're going to see each other tomorrow at the same time for the new year, but it's coming the new year 2023. So I wish you have the best of luck in the coming year. So good luck and see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourself and see you.
Okay, good day.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Bye.